Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this wonderful program, National Matters. I'm your pastor and host, Pastor Moses Chura, wherever you are watching us from. In case you have no power in your area, you can watch on YouTube, on Facebook, or you can download the CAMNet app on Play Store and then be able to follow. Tonight, I'm so honored to have in the studio for my guest, Honorable Paul KABUSWE, who is the Minister of Mines. Honorable, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Pastor, and I'm glad to be here. And good evening to our viewers and those of us that are watching on YouTube. Good evening.
Honorable, before you are minister, you are a family man.
Yes.
And before you are a family man, you are either a Christian or a non-Christian.
Yes.
And those backgrounds are very important to CAMNet viewers because we are a family.
Okay.
Beginning with your background of Christianity and the family, just in 3 minutes, what would you say?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I'm of course a Zambian. I was born in Chililabombwe. That's where I went to school, from primary school up to secondary school. Then I went to Copperbelt University, where my first course was mining. Then afterwards, I joined the private sector. I've just been, here and there doing business. In school, that's where I started politics. I served as Copperbelt University Students Union Vice President and also President. Yeah, I joined politics a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I'm born from a political family because my father was a serious politician, was a serious UNIP politician.
Really?
Yeah, he served at various levels. And at some point he was the main interpreter for KK. So
my goodness.
Yeah, he started the politics of Chililabombwe actually. He's part of the pioneers of the politics of Chililabombwe. So I was basically around politics. We could receive UNIP people coming, different governors, different ministers, different members of the Central Committee then during KK's time. So it was quite, a time of politics that I grew up in. And as a result, I grew a lot of interest in politics. And that is how come when I went to CBU, I quickly, Pastor, in my first year, I managed to become vice president. I campaigned and became vice president. and what won me the election? Yes, of KABUSWE.
Yes.
It's just one speech. I did one very powerful speech. I was not known. But the speech that I made, I think, turned the tables and I won the elections. So I served at that level. Then I've served as a councillor for Kakoso Ward in Chililabombwe. I've also served as a mayor for Chililabombwe, yes, in 2014. And then here I am. I've served as MP and subsequently appointed as minister. And I want to appreciate His Excellency the President Hakainde Hichilema for the privilege of serving in his cabinet. I must say it's a privilege. I take it as an honor. And I want to make sure that I bring to the table, and honor the confidence that His Excellency the President has placed in me by giving me such an important ministry. I take it as an honor. And I want to say this, Pastor, that I've grown up in a Christian home, but I gave my life to the Lord, I think, on 12th March, 1991.
Wow.
I'm able to remember the day. And I like singing. I've been a praise and worship person for quite a bit. Even on Sunday, I was singing in church, actually. I love singing.
Really?
So I do a lot of praise and worship. It's part of my life. I believe even when I'm solo, sometimes I just put music and begin to worship my God, and that lifts my spirit. So that is the part of me. I'm married to my wife, Annie. and we have 4 children. So she's been the support system in my life. Apparently, both my father and mother are actually alive.
Oh, really?
And they're at our home right now, though my father had suffered a stroke, but he's recuperating. COVID had hammered him, but he's recuperating, he's at home. So it's an honor also for him to be around, because he had made an attempt to become a member of parliament for Chilabombwe. It was not successful, but I think that God said, your son is going to do it. And here I am now serving. So he's a miracle working God. Yeah.
You see, Honorable, I like that background because I follow the Bible.
Yes.
And I believe in the Bible. Because the Bible says when the righteous are in authority,
exactly,
the people rejoice.
Correct.
But when the wicked people are in authority, the people mourn.
Yeah, that's
the Bible.
That's right.
So having you in place of leadership, indeed, I would like to thank His Excellency the President for giving you this chance. Because imagine 18 million Zambians. Out of 18 million Zambians,
yes,
there are over 200,000 people with degrees, with master's degrees, PhDs.
Correct.
And they have no jobs.
Yes.
And indeed, God, through the President, says, Honorable Paul KABUSWE, come and be the minister. It's indeed an honor.
Too much. And I don't take it for granted. Yeah.
Are you of the opinion also that church should be separated from government or from politics?
No,
Do you hold that view?
Church is an integral part of governance, and that is why, if you've noticed, my president has taken it upon himself, and he goes to on Saturday he goes to church. Sometimes he will do Saturday and Sunday. That is trying to show that we need to be united as one family, as Zambians, under God. That is critical. So, and that is why, he's trying to make sure that he embraces everyone. So church is an integral part. Church is an advisor. Church is able to speak to us as politicians. Sometimes we politicians can go hayway, do all sorts of things. But the church should be the conscience of the nation. The church should be able to advise us, to speak into our lives, so that we are able, when we are going off track, the church can be able to tell us, now you are going off track. I think that as a church right now in Zambia, a platform has been created by His Excellency the President. He's showing it when he's going to different churches, Seventh-day, Catholic, whichever church he goes to. That is showing that, can we unite?
Absolutely.
And if you've seen, the preaching of His Excellency the President has been, this nation must unite.
Absolutely.
We must not treat each other on account of what name I hold, what color I am. We must be one Zambia, one nation. And a united nation can only, I think it can only be defeated by itself. Yeah, because when there is unity, I know as a preacher, man, you preach the power of unity, and that is why God Himself has shown us in the Trinity. The three of them are so united. There is no confusion.
3 in 1, yeah.
Yes, so united. So unity in a nation is key. Is key for us to have proper development, because if there is unity, then there won't be tribalism. There won't be ethnism. There won't be all sorts of confusion, because we are a united nation. So I believe in the power that the church, the power of the role that the church plays in a nation.
Fantastic. And of course, we would like to thank the people of Chilabombwe.
Of course.
To nominate your name to the nation.
Indeed.
And vote you as members of parliament.
Yes.
Because those people, they are very critical.
I take it as an honor, Pastor, and whenever I can, almost every weekend, I'm in the constituency talking to my people. Almost every weekend. Unless I have a special assignment, then I won't be able to travel. I take it as an honor for the Chilabombwe people, the kind of votes they gave us. it was quite a rough moment. You know, it is not a secret, the kind of atmosphere that our colleagues created when we were campaigning in the previous elections. It was so bad to a point where my president couldn't come to Chirilabombwe. My vice president was stopped just right at the entrance into Chirilabombwe. So it was quite rough. But the people of Chirilabombwe stood by us. They gave the president a massive, it was a massive vote. They also gave me as an MP a massive vote. And out of the 24 councillors, they gave us 22. So it was massive, it was big, and I want to say thank you to the people of Chirilabombwe, and I want to assure them that the confidence they placed in me and His Excellency the President won't go to waste. They are going to see a difference, because we believe in leadership, we believe in taking the country in the right direction, and we believe in servant leadership. We are not going to be bosses, and that's why the UPN is saying no more cadreism. No more threatening of people. People must be free to do whatever they want to do. So I'm so appreciative of the people of Chirilabombwe. And above all, I want to thank my pastor, Bishop Michael Katuta, who stood by me that time. It was so rough. He stood by me and the church and my family and everybody else who was with me. And above all else, God himself appointed that I be member of parliament at this time. And I appreciate that. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it so much, and I hope that the wisdom and the grace that God has apportioned to me can continue to increase, so that we give the people what they deserve as leaders.
I'm so grateful for that background, Honorable KABUSWE. And one word I can just encourage you with is that the spirit that you have begun with, please continue to the end of 5 years, even after 5 years, because most people, when they are elected as members of parliament, they speak good and do wonderful things. Once they are elected, they forget the grassroots.
Exactly.
They go back on election day.
Yes.
And that tendency, I've seen it several times.
Yes.
I've been around for a long time. I can flash one name after another of the people who they said, you know, you are not coming back, stay to parliament.
Indeed.
But may you continue with that. Honorable, we are here. This is by me. This is by me. I am not going to say this is how it should be.
Yes.
But in a country like Zambia, my thoughts are that your ministry, as a minister of mines, I said this is by me. I don't know how your setup is. I'm speaking as a pastor. Your ministry is big. Minister of Defense, Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Mines. This mine is the backbone of our country. From 1964 to now, we cannot do as a nation without the Ministry of Mines. We have developed, we are. Again, these statistics are not coming from the book, but I'm saying by me. But I think 70% of the development of Zambia, the money comes through the mines. The mines has made us what we are. Taking over from the PF, from UNIP, from MMD, from all these people and the parties, now there is a new Dawn government. What is the policy of the new Dawn government on the mining sector?
Thank you very much, Pastor. One thing that I'm going to say that is very important is that Zambia's minerals belong to Zambians. God blessed us with a lot of minerals as a country. And the reason he did that, he realized there will be people that will be living in this land. And this wealth is for them to survive, to live up to. I do not, as a person, I do not underplay the importance of the Ministry of Mines or the mining sector to Zambia's economy. Even us as New Dawn government, His Excellency the President attaches serious importance to the Ministry of Mines. Now, the policy of the New Dawn government around the mining sector is participation of Zambians, beneficiation to Zambians. We are talking about a win-win situation. The Zambian must win. The treasury must win. And in cases of investment, the investor must also win. I think at some point, Pastor, we lost track in the mining sector. And the cry of the common person on the street is that why are we not benefiting from the mining sector or from the minerals that we are endowed with? Because of that, it has given, you know, we have been given a scenario where there is a you know, I would call it a rush that has actually created a lot of illegalities around certain mines. Now, coming back to your question, what is the policy of the New Dawn government? The policy is that whatever structure we do must be centered on benefiting the Zambian. That is the policy. Now, we are crafting a policy in a book as a government. It is on my desk now. I'm going through it. The technocrats have done their part. It's on my desk. After I do my comments, then we'll spread it. I think even the church will have a comment. Whatever we are crafting in that policy is, number one, how do we make sure that Zambia benefits from its wealth? How do we make sure that contractors and suppliers are part of those that are benefiting? Not benefiting by word of mouth, Pastor, but benefiting in a way that is tangible. Because benefiting from the mining sector is not only through taxation. Yes, the mines must be taxed, which we are doing. We must collect the royalties. We must also collect income tax. But it does not end there. Zambians must also benefit through the mining value chain, local participation in mining. This is critical, because when we collect those taxes from the mining sector and also have a lot of activity around suppliers and contractors, what will happen is that apart from the gains that we are getting from taxation, we will also be gaining, because when I'm paid as a contractor or a supplier, that money will still remain in the local economy. That is benefit to the local economy. And that is why we are saying, as the New Dawn government, the major goal in the mining sector is to ramp up production from the current levels to 3 million tons per year in the next 10 years. That is the vision. Now, we have to take practical steps to ramp up that production to 3 million tons. And one of them is crafting a policy, relooking at the Mines and Minerals Act, because that is the law in the mining sector. If we are to do SIs around the, you know, the supply value chain, we are going to do that so that more Zambians can participate. It is not going to be something that you fry in a pan in 2 minutes. It is something that we are doing methodically, and that is why you realize we decided to say one of the biggest problems in the mining sector is licensing. And you know, licensing is actually where the whole mining thing starts. If you want to start a mine, Pastor, you are going to start it with a license. Without a license, you can't mine. So the major problems that I discovered when I was in history do with mining license regime. We are saying, no, can we suspend, clean it up, and begin to give licenses properly? One thing I'll tell you, Pastor, which I've discovered, when we took over government, almost every mine, especially big ones, there are issues around issues, funny legal issues. So many entanglements. You cannot in the court of law. You need to untangle. You need to remove that from you know. You not have a scenario. KCM is in court. Mopani and Glencore, they were pulling each other different directions. In Northwestern, the mines there were pulling each other with government, and all these things cannot make us progress. So as the new dawn, our approach is all of us come round the table, let's talk. Where are the impediments? Where are the challenges? Where are the problems? We can sit round the table and begin to talk. And that is our approach right now.
I am so grateful, Honorable Minister, first and foremost, for your having accepted my invitation. There are a lot of things that have bothered my mind in this sector.
Yes.
One of which, some time back, one of the best metallurgists in Zambia joined the ZCCM. That's the one in Kitwe. And whites would come. He would teach them the job. He was getting quota of what they were getting as expatriates. That expatriate component. And once he teaches them the jobs, before long they become bosses.
Yes.
Even as they are bosses, as they were bosses, they would get things from him, what to do, how to operate this, a Zambian. And so he got frustrated. I know him, my wife and I visited him sometime back in England. Now he works for a company like Zesco in England, and he has 350 whites under him. He's a Zambian. But here he was frustrated. And there are so many Zambians who were in that mining sector. Could it be true that Zambians can't run their own sector, the mining sector?
I don't believe in that. I'm a firm believer.
And you are a qualified engineer or mining expert.
Yes.
If we took all these Zambians from where they are, guys, let's come. This is about developing Zambia. Do you think we can fail to run the mines?
I have grown upon a mine myself, Pastor. Zambia has a cadre of mining engineers, mechanical engineers that are able to do what anybody else can do. I think as New Dawn government, we believe in the ability of Zambians. And when you look at KCM today, somebody abandoned that mine, or whatever, it went into liquidation, whatever. But their Zambian, a couple of Zambian engineers have been able to keep it afloat.
Really?
Yes. When you look at Mopani, Zambian engineers have been able to keep it afloat. As we are talking right now, as we discuss around, you know, the issues that have, you know, like I told you, the legal issues around them, which I may not delve into for fear of being contemptuous. We have a cadre of Zambians that are capable. And that is why when we clean the mining license regime, we want Zambians to come up, begin to own mines and begin to run them. That is what we want as New Dawn government. We have the gold subsector now that has just come like a boom. We want the Zambian mining engineers to come forth and begin to run these mines. If there is no capacity, they can use their licenses as equity and go into JVs with those that have capacity. these issues, Pastor, of just saying, no, this one owns the whole mine and Zambians will just be workers, must be a thing of the past. We want Zambians to participate fully. We want the money. The mining sector can be able to extricate us from the challenges that we are facing as a nation. The mining sector run properly, and we are committed. The president is committed. I want to let you know that I've been a politician, and I have served with different people. The kind of president we have right now is keeping us on our toes, not in a way that is negative, keeping us on our toes because he is saying, KABUSWE, the seat you are on was given to you by the Zambian people. And the Zambian people are expecting that you deliver. And that's what we are going to do. This is not a government of rhetoric, Pastor. We are not talking theories. We are going to deliver to the Zambian people. And a Zambian is key even to the mining sector. So we are calling upon engineers, both local and in the diaspora, the mining engineers, the electrical engineers, to come forth and let us run the mining industry together. And I have an open door policy. We receive ideas from various people who have been there, so that together we can bring the wealth of this nation where it is supposed to be. And I am alive to the fact that on this score, mining is key. Mining is key. And because it is key, we are so serious about it. What we are doing right now in the ministry, Pastor, is that when we took over that confusion that we took over, we have to reorganize it. What is giving rise to the illegalities that are going on, including the illegal miners out there, is the fact that they feel they are hard done by. They feel that they are not getting what belongs to them. So what we need to do now is to bring everybody to the table and begin to organize the sector in such a way that we have a record of what is going on everywhere. Do you know, man of God, that up to now, the Ministry of Mines is not present everywhere where economic activities are taking place. And that is why we are saying, as we clean the licensing, we must make sure that we also have a database of every mining activity taking place, legal and illegal. The legal ones, they have to be put in the database so that they pay the right taxes and the right revenue to the government. The illegal ones, we bring them to the table. Let's sit around the table, regularize your mining, be a proper mining company so that you also add revenue and create jobs to our people. This is what we are doing.
Now, if you take that route, Honorable Minister,
yes,
the illegal ones, you regularize them, why not charge them? Because in the first place, they are illegal miners. Why not charge them before you just clean up a pig and say don't go in the mud?
Of course that will happen. I may not delve into the nitty-gritties because if we are to, sometimes the best way to catch a chicken, Pastor, is not to chase it. Sometimes throw maybe peanuts, then the chicken will be following you. As the chicken is following you, then you catch it and say, here you are, now I can eat you. Yes.
This is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So don't keep it and just move it from one chicken run to another. Chew it. You must eat that chicken.
Yes. Whatever we are doing right now is to make sure that we harness every resource wherever it is. Zambia is endowed with copper, it's endowed with gold, it is endowed with manganese, it is endowed with nickel. And we are also alive to the fact that in the next few years, the EV industry, electric motor vehicle, is going to boom. And Zambia has almost everything that requires to be an input in the manufacture of the EV vehicles. And that's why we are in a hurry to make sure that we are organized. In copper, we are organized. In gold, we are organized. In manganese, we are organized. In nickel, we are organized. And when we are organized, it will be easy now to harness the resource. If we are disorganized and there is confusion, and I know some people want to thrive in the confusion, because what I found, not that I want to sound like I'm demeaning people, but it's a fact. What we found is confusion. I don't even know the direction the ministry was going. But right now, we are taking back on track the Ministry of Mines. It's so that it's on track, and we know where we are going from day 1 to day 2. I must be able to enter my office, man of God, and I know that today this is what I'm going to do. Today this is where the ministry is going. If you ask me in my sleep, I must know where the ministry is going. I must know how we are going to raise money for the country through the Ministry of Mines. I must know how we are going to create employment through the Ministry of Mines. I must know how we are going to make suppliers and contractors boom through the Ministry of Mines. That is how it should be. When you ask me a question, the answer should be on my fingertips. And that is what we are doing. We are reorganizing. In the reorganization, we are going to face sometimes challenges and difficulties, and those people that thrive in confusion may begin to try and frustrate us. But I want to tell them that we are equal to the task. We know what we are doing. We know where we are going, and this country is going to see a different mining sector in the coming 1-2 years.
Honorable Minister, I enjoyed what you said, that Zambians must benefit.
Exactly.
In Ethiopia,
yes,
as an example, I have one of my sons in the faith, and he is in the mining sector, okay, the gemstone industry. You cannot own a mine in Ethiopia if you are not Ethiopian. Even if you have $50 million
yes,
to go and begin a mine, they want you to partner with Honorable KABUSWE or Pastor Chiluba.
Yes.
And you and I should own the majority shares in that. Look at what Ethiopia is doing.
Yes.
It's not just the airline. They've got, I don't know how many Dreamliners. During COVID, they were the only airline that could fly into the US, into this and do that. They made a lot of money.
Correct.
Now, why is our policy so open? Jet Li can come and own a mine and employ Zambians. Desai from Bombay can come and own a mine, and I am not a racist, but I'm a realist.
Yes.
Honorable. When I look at this country, the wealth, like you rightly said, which God has given us, it's a shame that we could even be borrowing money from IMF, to tell you the truth. It's a shame, and it's an embarrassment. So, do you have, as you are working on that policy, do you have a direction to put a Zambian first before a foreigner in the mining sector?
What I'm telling you, man of God, is that the New Dawn government puts Zambians as first priority in anything that it is doing. The policy is not yet out. I won't preempt it, but it's coming. Of course, if certain areas requires legislation, then we are going to legislate towards the policy, because the policy must come out as a vehicle. Now we need the tires, we need the fuel, so that that vehicle can drive it, and then that can be driven, So just wait for the policy. Of course, I'm sure the church will have an input, different stakeholders will have an input. It is something that we want to come out yesterday. So we are working on it. I will tell you that what will come out will be a document which will follow religiously, and it will benefit Zambians.
For the people of Zambia.
Correct.
Honorable Minister, looking at the history of the world, in times that we are in, and unfortunately Zambia is not exempted, there is war between Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
And because of that, fuel has gone up. Things have gone up, and there is more difficult times to come. People may just look at it as an invasion, but there is more coming up. Now, looking at the history of the world, big powers, they rush to buy gold, because gold can buy anything in this world. America, China, and all this, their rush is not for mid-meal. They are buying gold, small or big, in big quantities. Because if we have gold, like full of this studio, Even if there is war, after war, we can bail ourselves out through God. Currently, there are people who own mines that I know. If you give me a chance to say, Cabinet, let's go around the country, it won't take much before we expose these crooks. There are people who are getting gold and selling it without the government knowing. While you are putting these policies, is it, I don't know how parliament works and how government works, but is it not possible that, like you said, no licenses, no this until we clean it up? Can't you issue the same order to say no selling or exporting of gold until this is done?
As you know, the policy that we are doing, Pastor, is a holistic one. It touches all minerals. So, like I said, we need that thing like yesterday. It's not something that we are saying the policy will be ready in 6 months. It has to be ready now, in the shortest possible time. And when we send it to stakeholders, we'll even be giving a time frame. In this period, please release it quickly, because we are in a hurry to do the correct thing. We must not, of course, rush it in a way that we make mistakes, so that we change policy from policy. One issue that we must be alive to is that some of the mistakes that previously we've made as a country is to have a policy environment that is unstable. We want to do a policy environment that is predictable and that is stable. And all the minerals, the copper and also the gold subsector, the manganese subsector, all these will be included in that policy. And the issue of gold is very, very critical. That is why one of the things that I did, Pastor, is to shut Kasenseli mine. One of the reasons we shut that mine was to turn it around and make it a flagship mine. We have delayed a bit because there are certain, again, encumbrances around it, the legal issues that I was talking about, which are actually have been a danger. It's been something that has been taking us back. So you go back and forth because there is this legal issue, there is this legal matter, and then the legal processes must be followed. So all these things, we want to untangle them. So we've been sitting over Kasenseli to say, guys, can we sit quickly? Even this morning, it's an issue that was very active on my desk, to say we need to quickly do this and model the gold sector around this mine, so that now we go out there. I know there are people stealing gold. Their days are numbered. That I can assure you. Their days are numbered. This moratorium will also expose the crooks that you are talking about in the gold sector. We have ears to the ground. We will be investigating. We are moving in. And we will craft a proper policy around even the gold subsector, that all the thieving that has been happening will come to an end. That I can assure you, and through you assure the nation.
I don't know whether I know you could have heard, recently there was one of the UPND chairpersons, either in Mukushi or somewhere, who was saying that the government is protecting some mine somewhere, I think in Luapula, where there is some illegal mining.
Sojilite. It's Sojilite.
Yeah, and the person who was saying this is a UPND chairperson of some, I think, some youth or deputy national youth person. He took the police officers there. It was on news. What would you say to that, Honorable?
There is no investor who this government is protecting, who is doing wrong things. We are very serious on stopping illegalities. If an investor is doing wrong things, we will get them. And that is why the current licensing issue, it also speaks to such things. We have invited external people to be part of the audit, because then we will catch whoever is doing illegalities. Because I've stayed away as minister and I said, guys, run this, clean it up, because I don't want our hands to be bent or our hands to be soiled in this licensing thing. The issue of Luapula province, and I want to make it very clear to the nation, there is a there is an investor in Wapula. Of course, he got that mine in the previous regime, who has an exploration license, a valid one, exploration license. Now, within the license area, they discovered some mineral called sugilite, which comes with manganese. It's part of manganese. It doesn't occur alone. It actually occurs with manganese. So they discovered that, and it was not part of the license of that investor. So what we did was we sent our officers to say, go and check what is happening at that mine, because cadres have invaded it and they got whatever they got there. And I don't want to go into the politics of who said what, but I just want to make this clear that after that was discovered, I told my officers from the ministry to go right there and do a report on that thing that they found there. The license for the current holder of the area, the exploration license, is actually legal. And I also told them, can you go there and find out if this person is mining? Because if you are exploring, you have an exploration license, then you begin to mine, then you are doing an illegal thing, because after exploration, you need to do your reports, come to the ministry, tell us, now I'm done with my exploration, I need to go into mining. We look at various reports that you've done, then we give you a mining license. And this investor has actually come and applied now for a mining license. What we do not allow as a ministry, if your license area is copper, your license stipulates that you are exploring for copper, you can't do any other mineral that is not on the license. So the investigations have been done and the report is on my desk. I cannot divulge because I think I received it this morning, and I'll go through it. If that investor is found that apart from exploration, he was also mining, that license will be cancelled. That is the way it is. And we are not going to tolerate that. The other thing that we don't want to tolerate is for people to begin to invade mines. We don't want that messaging to go out there that in Zambia, people are invading mines with licenses. That won't augur well for us. So we want to make sure that we do it systematically. It's important for people to alert us as a ministry. You remember in my initial statements, I said our ministry is not everywhere. So sometimes it's the people out there who brings to light these things that are happening out there, and we quickly dispatch our ministry officials to go there. When they bring that report, and I want to say this, if our ministry officials also are cantankerous and they bring a half-baked report, we would still deal with it. So that man has an exploration license. If in the report it is said he was mining, then his license will be cancelled. We won't even waste time. That's how we operate. So we will look at the report and see if what he was doing is out of his exploration license. The ministry will have no choice but to cancel everything about him.
Mr. Honorable Minister, you have my support and blessings. When I tell people the way I feel about this nation, it's like someone has entered in my father's house, and they are stripping it while I'm watching as a child.
Exactly.
So even Zambia, I am so passionate about this country. It's not that we don't have brains. It's not that we don't have qualified people. I'm so grateful for what you have explained, because that thing went viral, and the nation has been waiting. Why are they quiet? Maybe that kind of thing. But going to another thing, Honorable Minister, Zambians have mines, rich mines, small scale mines. They can do what a foreigner can do. But financially, they are not empowered from way back. So it gives the Zambians to sell mines or to invite other people to take care of our wealth. What is the New Dawn government planning to do by empowering the people with small-scale mines? Because it's a challenge, Honorable Minister. Look at this. Today, we are very grateful that DSTV has counted as a worthy partner in this nation, and we are broadcasting there. But Honorable Minister, my wife and I started with 2 cameras. Even now, to send the journalists to Kasama, others, we can do big. But because the money comes from the little resources that we are getting, it's very difficult. If the government came and said, okay, Cabinet, we will give you this money, buy these cameras, or just give us the equipment, there is no way we can be afraid of CNN. Right now, we could have been in Ukraine as the Cabinet TV. We are equal to the task. But because the governments don't fund private things like this TV, they don't fund the people with the small-scale mines, what plans are you putting in place, Honorable? Are you considering to liberate the Zambians by giving them incentives? And when I say incentives, money to start their because they will pay back.
One thing that is true, Pastor, like I said, this government is putting Zambia and Zambians first. We are modeling a cadre of small-scale and artisanal miners in the policy that we are crafting. We are not going to reinvent the wheel. We are actually learning best practices in countries that are doing very well in terms of artisanals and small-scale mines, because in the vision to ramp up production, it is not only the brownfield big mines that we are looking at. We are also looking at the productivity of the small-scale and artisanal mines. Now, the first thing that we want to do and also discourage, first, we give Zambians licenses. That is what we want to do. Discourage, don't sell your license. Use it as equity. Because the first thing that I own as a Zambian is the land where we are right now.
That's right.
And the mineral that is there. So when I'm given a license to mine in this area, if I don't have the money, right now, there is a lot of goodwill for Zambia after President HH won the elections. A lot of people want to come into Zambia. So as they come, do not sell the license that will give you as a Ministry of Mines. Make sure you use that license as equity, as part of your contribution to capital. Because even as a government, the minerals are part of the equity that we have as a government. The minerals of Zambia. So whenever we are entering into a discussion, we are not going into a discussion as a weak partner. We are going into any discussion as a very strong partner, because Zambia belongs to Zambians, meaning whatever is in Zambia belongs to Zambians. So when we are discussing even with an investor and an equity partner, we are discussing from the position of strength, because the minerals belong to Zambia. So even as we discuss with investors, it is from a position of strength. So when the small-scale miners and artisanal miners get those licenses, please don't sell them.
Amen.
Do not sell them. Use it as equity. Use it as capital. When somebody comes with the money they want to run a mine, you produce the document, which is a license, and say, my contribution to this business is this mining license. You come with the money, here is the mining license, then let's do a JV, my license and yours. Then we'll do a legal entity called a joint venture. And we then structure it. So what we are saying is, please, as we begin, after the moratorium has ended, as we begin to give licenses, let us not sell. And I want to sound a warning to speculators, those that have been owning licenses just to speculate, to go to the stock exchange and make money. Your days are numbered. We are not going to allow a person to own 20 licenses alone, doing nothing with them. That we won't allow. We are going to, it's better we grab those licenses and give it to people that can use them. So anyone that is playing the lot, Pastor, that have gotten licenses and they're just keeping them, speculating with them, doing nothing with them. Yet there is a Zambian who can meet with an investor and probably do a proper mine and create jobs for themselves and for the people around that area. So these are some of the issues that we are working around. Like I said, we are learning best practices. There are countries which I may not mention that have done very well in small-scale mining and artisanal mining. Even in gold, we are learning best practices. Countries that in West Africa and also in East Africa that are doing very well in terms of artisanals and small scale. We are doing something around that to learn how we can also do those best practices. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. We will learn from our friends who have succeeded and translate that into Zambia and make it also a success story. This is going to happen in our country.
I wish you the best, Honorable Minister. And knowing that you are there, and we can only pray that God's grace may continue, that you are not moved to another ministry until we have some of these things flushed out.
Yes.
And recently, Honorable Minister, you put a blanket suspending of all mines, those that have expired and they didn't renew, even the people whose papers were just about to be processed and whose certificates expired,
Licenses, yes.
but they were about to renew, and these are Zambians.
Yes.
And you said no renewal,
Yes.
no what?
Yes.
Will you take over those mines from the people? Because by the time maybe you lift the sanctions, they will have been 2, 3 months or 4 months behind the renewal. What will you do to such people?
We are going to look at issues case by case. Yeah. You know, when a law is pronounced, or when an you know, I'll not call it a law, when an action is taken, there are those that are affected negatively and those that are affected positively. So those probably they were about to renew, then this thing came in. We are not going to say, we are not saying we are going to throw that, then that would be unfair. We are going to look at issues case by case. All I can say is I hope those renewals are clean. Because what we don't want, Pastor, is to have, I have a pile of cases of licenses that were mismanaged. Too many of them. And probably this action we've taken is going to help us clean that. So even those that could have been affected, they were just about to be renewed, and we put that in place. We'll look at issues case by case. And then, you know, it's not casting judgment. We'll see how we can mitigate the impact of the action that we've done. That action is in good faith, is not meant to punish anyone.
And once you confiscate those mines, which will be found wanting, I know there will be some.
Yes, yes.
Will you put them in the public tender box where Pastor Chiluba can also come and say, I want to become a miner?
Of course, if there will be need to advertise that, if the procedure that will follow will sit as a ministry and say, this is what we found. I won't preempt the actions after that. But what I can say is that our focus is to allow more Zambians to participate in the mining sector. That is the focus.
Sorry, Honorable Minister, I've been on the block for a long time. The human tendencies tend to surface. Once you know there are 50 mines,
yes,
chances are that you give it to somebody who was not appointed as a councillor, who was not appointed, you say, UPND. Those chances, I'm saying, chances are that those 50 mines may all go to UPND and not one to somebody who is not UPND. Who is, I'm talking about the past and knowing how politicians behave. Chances are that, you know, if we investigate later who got to those mines, you find that they are all red.
One thing, I'm glad you have asked that question. One thing I want to make clear before I answer is that we must realize that a UPND cadre or a UPND member is a Zambian who must benefit from any resource that is in the country. except we must not be unfair to people that are apolitical. They don't belong to any political party, but maybe they want to do mining. We are going to give, people must know that UPND cadres are Zambians who also want to survive, who also want to have a life. So they must be given chances. As a matter of fact, we go to these political parties and join them and vote because we know when my party wins, I mean, it just comes natural. It's like when I say, why should I go to Jesus Christ? There is a benefit. I must be in heaven when I die. That is benefit number one. My soul must be saved. That is a benefit that draws me to Christ, and also a life that I will lead on earth. It will be a good life. Because then I'll be away from a lot of atrocities. It's a benefit that accrues to you. And God had to give a life for him to benefit our souls. So even when you belong to a particular political persuasion, why you are going there is because you know that when my particular political persuasion wins, some benefit must accrue to my life. Now that does not mean that we must forget the 2.8 million and the 1.8 million that did not vote for us, and those that did not just vote. Everyone is entitled. So what we will do is to advertise. If it calls for us to advertise, we will do it. I won't preempt the method that we are going to use, whether it's to advertise or to, whichever way we will do it. Chances must be given to everyone. We are not going to discriminate. We have come to unite the country. The president has preached that message. One of the ways we unite is not to discriminate when you are giving out things like licenses. You make sure that you give things equally, you give fairly. I know that where we are coming from, it's very difficult to believe a politician because we haven't done very well in doing what we say. We haven't done very well as politicians. And but I think for us, test us, try us, and mark the script like the boss likes saying, after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, mark the script and say, you are different or you are the same.
One of the areas, I won't hide you, Honorable Minister, you must look into the area of KCM, Mopani, and these mines. The one in Chingola, it's called what?
It's still KCM.
KCM, yeah. And Kitwe?
It's Mopani.
Mopani and Mufurira?
Mopani.
Okay.
Yeah. So KCM is Chingola, Chilabombwe. Mopani is Mufurira and Kitwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look into that area. Yes. Because I know for a fact people that have submitted, evidence here.
Yes.
Cabinet, would you please come and cover this? All the people used to supply to those mines who were PF.
Yes.
Or presumed to be PF, they've been moved out. And in your time, Honorable, I can give you some credible sources. You do, because when I sit here with my wife, I am for Zambia.
Yes.
Not for this and that. You do your own research, but underground, whether by some, I won't mention the positions in these people, they have gone out to say, let UPND also benefit as PF benefited. This is one reason I'm asking you that, politicians, when UNIP moves out, MMD brought their own thing. When MMD came out, PF, and now UPND. I know we are all Zambians, but if I stand, here I am, and next to a UPND, you look at me and say, Pastor Chua, you've got a blue shirt. Let's give this one with red because you come and help us during the campaign. There is that human nature and element. So I think you must look into that. On the copper belt, Honorable, there is serious stuff going on where people used to supply to mines. They don't belong to this party or that party. Some are genuine, and others are serious Christians. Others are pastors. They've built the churches. They are running orphanages through the contracts they used to get from the same mines. But they've told them off. They have brought the new.
I am not aware of that because I thought you are going to say that don't do what PF did, because PF, anything that looked red was nowhere near doing anything. People were disadvantaged, people were fired, people were transferred. My colleague, the current Minister of Commerce, is a victim because he belonged to a different political persuasion.
This is what I'm saying, Honorable Minister, that when UNIP leaves,
yes,
MMD takes over,
yes,
you benefit.
Yes.
When MMD leaves, PF takes over, you benefit. When PF loses, now there is the UPND. This is why I'm saying that this trend has continued. So please check. I'm just letting you.
What we are saying ourselves is that those who were disadvantaged because of being UPND must be restored. This has been announced even at various fora. Not that go and push out those who were doing other things, because like I'm saying, they are in the minds who are businessmen who belong to neither PF nor UPND nor whatever. They are just businessmen.
Absolutely.
So if you do a sweeping statement and say everyone go out, you are going to disadvantage innocent people.
Absolutely.
But I want to tell you, Pastor, there are those who were in PF who are doing business with the mines, and I'll be very blunt on this, who are even going on social media to boast that their power is theirs, the money is ours. There are those who are doing that. You cannot, you cannot tolerate that. The government has changed. The best thing that President HH and his team deserves is respect. Absolutely. You cannot go on social media, you begin to parade your wealth like you want to disparage the current government. That cannot be allowed. That cannot be tolerated. What you are doing is you are ruffling the feathers of UPND members, saying, have you seen these PF people, what they are doing? And we need to stop that. We need to nip that in the bud. If President HH wanted revenge, he couldn't have said remove cadres from markets and bus stops and wherever, let anyone with any uniform go anywhere and not be harassed. It's happening now. He has started showing leadership. Look at the Kabwata by-election. If it was in the previous regime, ngakwali bama panga no kulasana, but we were campaigning very freely in Kabwata. I even brought some campaigners from my constituency, freely campaigning and canvassing votes. That's the way a country should be. Even in these businesses, we must not discriminate on account of where you belong to. But at the same time, do not take a hat that says I'm extending an olive branch for granted. You shouldn't do that. So I think what we are saying is that those who are fired because they belong to a certain political party, or let me just say bluntly, UPND, they must be restored. Why should I be fired because I belong to a particular political party? I mustn't be fired. So they must be restored. But what we are saying is, do not take advantage of an olive branch that has been extended to you, because if you take advantage of it, it is going to ruffle the feathers of some cadres and they'll pounce on you.
But some of the people, Honorable, I don't know what mechanism you are using, but some of the people who were removed, and this again, it's up to you to do the audit.
Yes.
Some of the people were removed. It's not that they belonged because they belong to UPND. Some of them were criminals, and some of them committed atrocities. I'll tell you one incident. I won't mention the name. I was with President Sata in State House. When he took over, we were chatting, and if you remember, Honorable, President Sata and I came in contact. That time I was doing live crusades on TV in 1989 when he sent people to investigate me. When he found that I was just as innocent and very good software to be used on the market, he said, Pastor, I want you to be near. I was one of the first people he told in 1996 that, Pastor Chiluba, I'm going to be president, come and pray for me. You know, so that relationship and bond continued. But when we were there, a man came. I just want to tell you this story. A man came, walked in, and the president Sata said, do you know this man seated? The man said, yes, I know him, Miss Pastor Chiluba. He says, okay, sit down. What is it? Have you brought the letter? He says, yes, sir, but there is something I want to tell you without the pastor being present. And he said, this is why I asked you. Do you know this man? Because Pastor Chiluba can't go, you know, and discredit you or what. If you are innocent, these are public officers.
Yes.
And as you are seeking to be in public office, you must be transparent. President Sata starts educating the man to say, if you want to aspire to be there, be as transparent as a glass. Then he says, okay, sir, I've got the letter. And President Sata said, bring the letter. He read it, and he said, excuse me, this letter, who gave it to you? He says, sir, I used the boys in the system to get it from the file. Now you're talking about UPND losing, President Rupiah Banda losing, may his soul rest in peace. They lose, and Sata picks up. Now this man uses the system to get the letter from cabinet, the original letter. And when he looked at it, he said, listen, if you can do this to President Rupiah Banda, you are a danger to my government. And I was listening. Probably the man is watching. He said, I even wanted to appoint your wife into this. He picks up the phone and he says, bring the file. And he threaded that file. He said, you know what? If you can do this to President Rupiah Banda, I am not safe. And he cancelled in my ears. Those are, I mean, in my eyes. These are some of the testimonies that I would tell the world, that sometimes it is very good to be clean and to be direct, you know, with people. So what I'm saying, Honorable, to you is, you see, the President, HH, some people haven't even come to terms to accept him and respect him. One, because he's young. Two, because he was in the opposition. But like I always say in this nation, if we start demeaning the presidency, we are digging our own grave.
Exactly.
Whether you are PF, MMD, NAREP, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
When somebody walks into that office, whether you don't like him, respect the office.
Exactly.
You know, and this has been my message for years.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That is the way it should be, Pastor. I think that that's why I was saying that we cannot tolerate people disparaging us. Even when His Excellency the President has extended an olive branch to say, no cadres, don't beat people up, let people walk freely in the country. It's a big milestone, and it's not very easy, because I can tell you, Pastor, that as UPND, we were agitating. It was paining inside. What we went through, myself, I was almost arrested for treason or aggravated, whatever they wanted to fabricate. It was paining, and people were itching to say, after we win, this is what we are going to do. The President says, forgive. The President says, no Kadaism. The President says, we are not going to revenge. But people must not take that for granted. When somebody extends an olive branch, the best you can do, respect that person. It's not very easy to forgive. President HH was arrested, I don't know how many times. He was in Mukobeko sleeping like that 127 days.
But those are some of the qualifications of president,
yes,
isn't it?
but he came out and forgave. In fact, that's the way it should be.
Like
you come out, yes, you come out, you forgive. It's not an easy thing, but he did it for the sake of unity and moving forward. Because if you remain at the same point where you just want to be fighting and punishing others, you lose track. We do not have 1 year to lose just fighting battles. We have 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 to develop this country. It's a mandate that the Zambian people have given the New Dawn government, and we want to religiously follow the period and deliver to the expectations of our people without being distracted. But it should not be, be taken for granted that the president has said no Kadaism.
Honorable Minister, I thank you so much for coming. I want to play a clip of the preaching by my friend Tuda Bismarck. When we met in Ethiopia, he even asked me about this. I said, Tuda, I have no information about this.
Yes.
And we've been talking, and he said, Pastor, I've got the facts about what you were saying you don't know. Now he's preaching in T.D. Jakes' church.
I watched that.
You watched that?
Yes.
I want to play it for the sake of the people who never watched.
Okay.
It's so painful.
Yes.
And you sit here.
Yes.
Mr. Director, please give me that clip.
Thank you.
Ghana was born the same year we were born, in 1957. Ghana and South Korea had their independence dates on the same day, the same year. But look where South Korea is. South Korea is by nature not a Christian nation. South Korea by nature are Buddhists. China, which is the next large world economy, they have stated that in the next 10 years, 20% of the Chinese people will be multimillionaires. That means almost 450 million Chinese will be millionaires. They are not Christians, they are Buddhists. The Japanese are Shintoists. Those in Indonesia and Malaysia are Muslims. It's not about praising God and hallelujah and a great thank you, Jesus. It's about possessing an understanding as to how things work.
That is a wrong clip, actually. It's supposed to be part 1. But nevertheless, Honorable, I'm going to play that at the end. But the issue is, in that same sermon, he said Zambia sold KCM for peanuts. And without the people paying the money, they just turned the same money after they dug, sold the money and paid the Zambian government.
Correct.
Today, they are worth billions. And this is where the pain is, Honorable, that a Zambian government, which is supposed to put everything in order, especially in the mining sector, so that we can benefit as Zambians. We are not.
Yeah.
They tell us stories, no, Zambia this. When I'm going to the Copper Belt, Honorable, where you live,
Yes.
when we start counting trucks with my wife carrying copper, our wealth, I normally say to my wife that there goes our wealth. There goes our wealth. And it's so painful.
Yeah.
But I am so grateful for what the president is doing and your team.
Yes.
Because for me, it doesn't matter who is there. If you have Zambia at heart,
Yes.
you have my support.
Correct. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you. Yeah, one thing, do not worry. Like I said, you mark the script, and the commitment and the political will at the level of presidency, I think, is unprecedented in this country. And even the level of alertness at the level of presidency is also unprecedented. So, and we are all tapping into that vision. And we have bought into that vision to run with it and make sure that we realize why we are where we are today. Our positions are meant to benefit the people of Zambia. And man of God, I want to assure the Zambians Those that are throwing statements, no, they have no plan. No, we do have a plan. We do have a program. We know where we are going. This is not just rhetoric. I don't believe in rhetoric myself. I'm a hands-on man. And thank God I have the kind of president I have. I'm a hands-on man, and I want us to deliver to the Zambian people. And the commitment that is at presidential level is unprecedented. And this country is going to see the benefit of voting HH. If people have if there are people who have not yet accepted, by the works, they will accept and they will appreciate why God allowed it that HH be president today.
What is government's position on VAT refunds to the mines?
That is a question actually for the Minister of Finance. But one thing I can tell you is that Zambia is highly indebted. But I think the government is trying to restructure and also rework the debt. They are renegotiating and restructuring it because the debt is just out of this world. Part of that debt is these VAT refunds, and the Ministry of Finance is working around the clock to make sure that they structure, repayment for this VAT, the refunding structure for the VAT. I may not go into the details. I'm not a finance man, though I did some economics when I actually did political science and international relations at UNILAS. I graduated about 2 years ago, just before elections. So in that there is a component of economics. So when you talk about issues of VAT refund, the economic brain comes at play. So it's a critical matter. And it is something that this government has taken very seriously, and there are negotiations around it, and I think it will be done in the long run. Yeah.
In my own understanding of things, Honorable, during the PF reign, the former Minister of Finance, Honorable Margaret Manakatwe, introduced the tax,
the sales
tax, and I'm sure she lost that job as minister. I may not know why she lost it, but the sales tax, what she introduced, that we don't need VAT, we need sales tax back. I'll tell you something. One of my friends in England said, what your minister is fighting, it won't happen. African countries cannot be allowed to go sales tax. That is for America, Britain, and these superpowers. For Africa, it is VAT. And when I saw Margaret Manakatwe removed from there, and the Honorable Bwalianga took over, like I said, I don't want to sit here and mislead the nation for things that I do not understand, but I need your help. My friend just said most African countries, they are VAT world, not tax, sales tax, because that can make your countries rich. What would you say to that?
Well, like I said, now you're taking me into a terrain that is not well vested.
Let's leave it.
Yes. So
I'll ask you, Honorable Musokotwane.
When he comes, yes.
I'll call him.
Yes, and ask.
So I will call him so that we can, because anything honorable that will help us come out of these colonial chains will be a blessing.
Yes. The mining sector, I will tell you that that is the route we are taking. That is the route we are taking. No more shall Zambians just look like you are saying a truck passing with copper and ore and the benefits not seeing, they are damaging the roads and all that.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Right now the trajectory is different.
And don't we have the capacity, honorable, to refine and produce the finished product from the copper that we mine?
Zambia is going the route of value addition. We have been exporting anodes and cathodes and sometimes, unfortunately, even copper blisters. This country is going value addition because of the looming boom in the electric motor vehicles. we would no longer be just exporting. When we refine up to a cathode and we export. We want to add value. Even with a gold, it's value addition. Manganese, nickel, it's value addition. That is where this country is going, including in other sectors like agriculture and others. So I'm a mining guy. I don't want to go in Honorable Mtolo Spiri's terrain. But I'll tell you that we are going value addition as a country. This is a serious matter on the table. There will be gold processing plants within this country. There are already manganese processing plants, but we want to go beyond where they are reaching and add value and bring out the very product that comes out of these minerals. That is what will bring wealth to this country, apart from just exporting raw materials.
Because if countries like Uganda can have refineries for gold, and other countries like South Africa, I am of the belief that Zambia is so rich with this gold which has been discovered. We probably could be more richer than South Africa.
Correct.
And if we don't give the value addition, we're just cheating ourselves.
This is an issue, the issue of the processing plants. We are moving, and the president has been very pushy on this aspect, that we need the processing plants in place. We are running. We are actually not just walking, we are running. The only thing is that, you know, when you are cooking a pot of Nshima, when you are cooking Nshima, you put the pot on the brazier or on the stove, you make the porridge. This is what we are doing. But very soon you start seeing the Nshima and the relish.
But when you put porridge there, it's not immediate that you cook Nshima.
Of course.
You have to give it some
allow it time. Of course. And that is why we are running. We need to make sure that quickly the porridge begins to, you know, to cook, so that we can now begin to make the paste. Tuambo kunaya, you know, istanat fuvila, file pia file chita file fichitanga na to take up pa stove. So we are cooking and we are running with it.
Let me say this, Honorable. I know President HH may be watching this program. As he's also a cabinet supporter. But in case he's not watching, here's my word. President Lungu was not a bad president. President Banda, may he so rest in peace. All those presidents who were there, they were not bad presidents. They were all good presidents. Even this man is a good president. But you know what? When you are surrounded by hungry stomachs and people who just want vengeance, who just want, those are the people who mess up the economy. If it's true, I like what I read, that President HH is going to engage President Lungu in the funeral of our president here. That sector also, Honorable, you with the other colleagues who mistreated you, please find a common code where you start coming together in a brotherly love. Because if your children, you have a difference with that neighbor of yours in Chirabombo, Honorable, your children and their children, they will never be together. So for the sake of unity and building this, start singing the One Zambia song, all of you, without looking at the wounds and the pain that PF inflicted or MMD, but look at it holistically and say, let's build our nation. I don't know if my message is clear to you.
It's very, very clear.
Honorable.
It's very, very clear. It's basically, you know, following the steps of the president who has shown the way by offering olive branches to a lot of people, trying to say, let's move on, let's unite the country. Unity is key. Whatever you have said, man of God, is about unity. You cannot be united if you are looking the other way and your friend is looking the other way. Unity is when you are able to talk. You are able to discuss around the table. I think that is key. So I think that it's up to us now to follow the path that our leader has shown. I think it is important, and the nation must buy into that vision. I think it was a step in the right direction, and it is something that is worth emulating.
Amen.
Yeah.
Honorable, obviously you know that I'm a pastor.
Yes.
It's just that I'm very passionate about the nation,
yes,
and the journalism,
yes,
and there are people out there who may want to ask you questions.
Okay.
Maybe that I could have left out.
Yes.
But I'm so glad that you have answered the burning questions on my mind.
Okay.
Where are the Zambians in all this burning of the license,
yes,
suspending this?
Yeah.
Where are the Zambians? And
Yes.
next, what will you do with the mining sector,
yes,
in regards to Zambians?
Yes.
Now, because your government is saying we will put Zambians first,
yes,
I don't have many questions. I'll just wait to come and quote this and say, Honorable, look at this clip.
Indeed.
We said this. What is happening?
Indeed.
That this Jet Li has got...
Wow. Yeah.
Mr. Director, please open the lines and let the people ask the questions if they have for the minister, and let him answer the questions. Those of you that are on Facebook, please go ahead. The first thing there, Mr. Honorable Minister, evening Pastor and Honorable Minister, what's the government policy on mining, especially KCM? Well, Minister, how can you help with the corruption in the payment system at KCM? Please investigate. It's very bad. Musonda from Chingola. I think this one, before we take another one, Honorable, this is why I said we have received things like this, that there is a lot of corruption going in terms of paying those who have supplied, and others have been removed. Now Musonda is saying, how can you help the minister?
The help that we can give right now, we actually already engaged KCM on the issues of liquidating the debt that they owe to contractors and suppliers. You know, Pastor, like I said, one of the key aspects of beneficiation from the mining sector is suppliers and contractors. Now, how do we benefit? Is when they do jobs with the mines and they are paid. Right now we are grappling with an issue. You read the cases of the provision liquidator and all those monies. I don't want to comment on it because I may be cited for contempt. But the figures that are being mentioned are appalling. Imagine those are in the local economy in Chingola and Chizabombwe. You can feel it. It means there will be more tithe at church, for example. There will be more offering. There will be more business going in and out of the various supermarkets, local butcheries, taxis, and whatever, because those people have the buying power.
They will benefit.
Exactly. So that is why we are saying, can even the little that is in the coffers of the mine, spread it across, begin to liquidate these figures. Don't pay one person all the amounts. Spread it across. We know that the budget is lean, so whatever is available, let's learn to
even
spread it across.
Even if I get $2,000,
yes,
it's a good enough.
If I'm owed, for example, 50 million as an example, start by paying me a 20 million or a 15 million, so that then you spread it across. What will happen is that they will be buying power with different people. That will have a multiplier effect on the local economy. So the corruption comes when you want to pay one person huge amounts of money, leaving out others who will have supplied. And you know, the issue also of capacity building comes into play. How do we capacity build? Is by paying those small contractors. Somebody has supplied, they stay for 1 year, what they supplied maybe is just 20,000 kwacha. There will be no capacity building. By the time that money comes out, somebody's...
The inflation.
Yes, that money has lost value. So we need to look at these issues in that way, and that we have already spoken to KCM management to say, whatever we owe contractors and suppliers, please, let's begin to spread it.
What about, Honorable, I almost forgot this. How is the government coming in to these mining sectors in the social corporate responsibilities? In those days, there was a lot of soccer on the mining
Yes.
Areas
Yes.
where you grew up.
Yes, yes.
Because the mines were pumping it.
Yes, yes.
And there are people like myself,
Yes.
you know, we have a football team, Honorable, now.
Oh, okay.
It's doing
okay.
so well in
Okay.
the first, the under 19.
Okay.
And we'll be taking them to the US in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but the social corporate responsibility, as a minister, how are you pushing these people? They should not just enjoy the benefits of being here and the mining.
Yes.
They should offload to society.
That is part of what we are calling my emphasis, if you've heard in a lot of statements that I've made. Can we respect the social license? Now, social license includes the issues of suppliers and contractors. It also includes what are you doing to the communities where you are, where you are sitting. What impact have you made? I visited one mine. They began now to show me this presentation. No, we have invested $2 billion. What?
2 billion.
And the mine, very nice. Then I said, fine, you are giving me very beautiful figures. But the moment I was entering the district where this mine is sitting, I was smelling poverty.
Absolutely.
It looked like it's an abandoned area. I want these figures you are talking about
To reflect.
trickle down, to reflect where this asset is sitting. Man of God, this is what is creating the issues of illegalities around these mines, because people are feeling, okay, you are cooking there, but where is my benefit? I'm not seeing anything.
You are cutting
The
firewood
recreation
from
is
my
gone.
area.
Yes.
But you are eating, I'm not benefiting.
I'm not benefiting. So can you please make something trickle down to me? And that is what we are talking about. Can we see activity around these big resources that are sitting in those areas? Respect the social license. Be socially acceptable by doing something to the community. They have begun actually to respond to the messaging. But if it will call for us to legislate around that, we will do it. If that is what it will call for us to do, we will do it, so that people can see even the fact that the mining conglomerates or small mines are actually also respecting the social license where they are sitting.
You are a good minister.
Thank you very much.
And you'll be in our prayers.
Thank you.
Me, like you said, the Honorable, I don't like people who just talk.
Yes.
I like action people.
Exactly.
I think I was wired for greatness.
Indeed.
DNA Yabomo. Please give us another text message. Good evening, Dad and Honorable. I have 3 questions to the Honorable. Number 1, knowing that minerals are waste assets and mining be negative impact on the environment, what measures are you putting in place to improve the mining sustainability? You've taken this first question, Honorable.
Yes, though it's very vague, but I'll see.
I think it's just on knowing that they are wasting assets and mining, the negative impact on the environment. What measures are we putting to get this? Number 2, as a country, do we think to invest in reusing mining waste? That is the 3rd question is, what eco-flow equipment are we going to acquire in the mining sector? Pastor Jacob Momba, this is from Chilabombwe.
Okay.
This is a pastor. You see,
This is eco-friendly.
eco-friendly. You see how knowledgeable we are as pastors? John 3:16.
Can we have some more questions?
Yes, let's have some more questions, Mr. Director. Honorable evening, I love how boldly you are responding to the pastor. The price for exploration license are too high for local people, 27,000. I think that's before EAI, whatever that means. And
Environmental impact assessment.
okay, and the geological surveys, any relief for locals, so we can use that equity to partner with foreigners.
Okay.
Another question, let the minister take some more. Good evening, Pastor and Honorable Minister. This is great news for our nation. I wish all the ministers could be brought on such platforms where they say what they are doing in silence. Honorable, when did you start working on this cleaning process? Number 2, when are you expected to finish so that jobs can be created? I think Honorable go through those and answer. Oh, okay, there is a third one. Don't bring the good works too closer to 2026 because they will look like campaign programs. Honorable, ask the pastors how they can help the government to succeed. No, okay, I need not to be asked.
Yes.
I brought you here.
Yes.
I'm helping.
Exactly.
For you to offload the knowledge.
And you had actually asked the question to say, do you also believe that church must be away? I think I explained that I don't believe that
the church
is an integral part.
That's right.
Yeah.
So as pastors, we are doing a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Maybe go through those questions.
The cleaning process started on the 23rd. We announced that we are going to do a 30-day program initially. If we are able to finish within 30 days, then we'll lift it, and then it will end then on the 23rd. But if we don't finish, we'll have to extend until we are done. Yeah, but again, like I said, we do not have the time to run just all this through. We may not have that time. Then exploration license too high. It's an issue. I think that licenses must not be prohibitive in terms of wanting people to do exploration and all these things. So if we are to relook at these fees, we can see how we can consult with Ministry of Finance and other government agencies to see how we can make it affordable. But exploration, man of God, is not a cheap undertaking. That's why Zambia is not fully explored up to now. But this government, we have made it a point to explore Zambia and map it up. A program is on the offing to explore the country and map it up, because you need to know the extent of how wealthy this country is. I don't know what we have been doing. We should have explored Zambia through and through, map it up and know the extent of the wealth. It is very critical. And so we are running with this program. As we are crafting the policy, we are also looking at how do we enhance exploration? How do we get best practices? This time around, there is even better technology. Funds allowing, you can explore a country in a very short space of time because of the technology. There are drones all over now, so it's very easy. There are machines that are able, the detectors and all that. So we are moving in that direction to make sure that Zambia is explored and properly mapped, so that we know the extent of the wealth. This time around, there are people who could say, okay, because I have 10 shoes that I'm going to make with the kind of raw material I have, can you pay me in advance for the 10 shoes so that I make the shoes, then you come and collect the shoes? Even in minerals now, there are people that would say, okay, you have these minerals, I can give you 2 kwacha, then I'll recoup when I finish the exploration. Then you use that money to develop your own country. So, but we can only do that if we are fully explored and properly mapped. And this is what we are going to do as a ministry. Mining, sustainability, and the reusing of mining waste, I think these two are almost related. This time around, Pastor, in the mining sector, there is nothing that you can throw away. The oils are being collected because of the issues of green economy and all that. Yeah. All the rubbers are now being collected, and all the scraps are being, everything can be reused now because of how technology is. That's why there is scramble for scrap in all the mining companies, because now you can't throw metal. You can't throw metal anywhere. They will take it, they go and melt it and bring it back as steel or something else. So of course, there are programs like, the World Bank has put up a lot of programs like the one they are doing for lead in KABUSWE, and also making sure that the environment is eco-friendly. All those things, they are doing them. So each mining company, that's why there are issues of ZEMA Each mining company must be environmental friendly in terms of their operations. These are critical issues, and they will be checked from time to time to make sure that the water is not polluted, to make sure that they look after their environment properly, their discharge is looked upon properly. All these are critical issues. And as we progress, man of God, what we are doing as a ministry is that we are also enhancing the regulatory framework around these mining companies, so that we make sure that they adhere to all requirements that are in the license that they get. A license has got conditionalities to it which you must follow. I think that a lot of people were let off the hook, but now as a government, all that is going to be active. We want to run a very active mining sector, holistic one.
And in a professional manner.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Have you finished the...
Yeah, somebody asked on the policy on KCM. I think I've talked about KCM. I don't want to go into the details because we are still untangling it from, these legal battles that that are around it. But
I was going to ask actually about vendetta. Now, in case I step in the door,
yeah, because
let me leave it. Since you said
we will be giving
legal.
It is something, like I said in my preamble, you cannot develop a sector in the courts. You can't. If assets are entangled in legal battles, you are not going anywhere. It's just actually our legal fraternity will be getting rich. Meanwhile, the country is drawing backwards. So we want to sit around the table and close off these things. My president likes saying, Minister, we need to close deals. When you are closing deals, then you are moving forward.
Honorable, there is a phone call coming.
Good
evening.
Hello, Papa.
Good evening to you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Chidilabombwe.
Chidilabombwe, this is your MP.
Name Daniel.
But Daniel, this is your MP. Speak to the nation.
He looks gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Very brave. About the power of me. Honorable.
Okay.
Now, Mona, Papa, regionalism.
After all, Chinese command our police. That's one thing fancy. So to read on both one shampoo, who won't your story to the way. Everything to change. I'm approach from home. Further visit at the way, what is to done? I have a query just 5 years and why to a total.
Thank you.
Number Daniel. Oh, I was going to. You see, Daniel has got wonderful points. The mines should come in.
Exactly.
Absolutely. No. But also, Honorable, encourage your people in the constituency to be hard workers.
Yes.
God asked Moses, what is that in your hand? He begins to bless a nation by what you are holding in your hand.
Correct.
Come off your account. Tuambile ino station wa Honorable na 2 cameras. Wale no kuti pastor, what are you taking? Mleto wa poverty mu media industry iti muamba TV na 2 cameras. But where are we now?
Yes.
So akoke no kwet can make a difference. I just wanted to say this to Daniel so that as they rally behind you, the people of Chilabombwe should come up with not waiting for you to go and give them what to do. They should come up with ideas. By the time muleva kumanyakulia, nabenda n'abayipompa.
No, thank you very much. One thing I want to remind our people, I know I'm talking mining, but there's an aspect that I need to talk about which is unprecedented in the history of Zambia. The way the CDF has been enhanced from 1.6 million to 25.7 million per constituency every year. It's time for Zambians to start thinking outside the box. The president has thought outside the box by getting that kind of money per constituency each year. In old money, Pastor, it's 25.7 billion kwacha every year in each constituency. So Lusaka mwakwata 5 mukapokelera 5 times 25.7 billion or million now. That is a lot of money. What that requires is we begin to think outside the box. I have told my people in Chililabombwe, I don't want you to think small projects. Think big. Think outside the box. Even that football pitch, it's peanuts in terms of cleaning it from the kind of CDF that is there. Because it may take maybe, less than 200,000, the thing is done. So like you are saying, we must provide leadership. We must provide guidance. The promise I can give to the people of Chililabombwe that you are going to receive a different kind of leadership. The kind of money we have been given, let's think outside the box. Let's do a proper program for each ward, for each place, so that we can see the benefit. It means Chililabombwe will receive this money for the next 5 years. Quite substantial amount of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and we need to do proper planning and proper projects. It's a flagship program for the UPND and President HH. It is something that can turn around a lot of youth's lives and can make them busy.
When are you releasing that money? I'm also in a constituency.
Of course, you were talking about empowering in terms of cameras. I hope you have approached your MP and applied.
You didn't phone me, Honorable.
It's part of even studios. This is you are employing people.
Yes.
So you can, the more this studio grows, the more people you employ. You have a big vision of sending them out. It's important. So you are also eligible actually to apply for CDF as a project.
I'll tell my wife, she's the CEO.
Indeed.
Tomorrow she has to apply
and
see to it that we do the beautiful thing.
Indeed.
Please give us the text messages. Let's utilize the presence of our Honorable here. Good evening, Pastor and Honorable Minister. License number. Mine in Mumbwa district has grabbed our maize, soya beans fields and offering 5,000 kwacha as
Mm.
compensation. No. When you complain, you are reported to the chief. Also, Minister, investigate how he got so many licenses within the district. This Pakistani has really troubled us. Blasting done without warning, endangering our lives and that of our domestic animals. Our fields have been turned into dump sites. Give your your contact number. We have a lot to say. These are some of the things, Honorable.
Yes.
This text you have seen.
Yes.
There are a lot that we receive here,
yes,
which are illegal.
Yes.
That's why I said, can Cabinet expose some of these things? Have you heard that, man?
So I don't know if I were to give my number here, then it will go along.
No. Don't give the number. Don't. But I'll get the number of this man.
Okay.
I'll send it to you, Honorable.
Please.
I'll send it to you.
Please.
Because you see, these people, they are your eyes.
Yes.
Tomorrow people will say, hey, UPND is a listening government based on such things.
Yeah. No, I'm mindful of some people. Like, you remember I said there are people owning more than 10 licenses alone, 20, 30, 40 licenses. We cannot have that. We cannot tolerate that. That is selfishness. We cannot. We need to relook at these issues.
When we are offset, Honorable, I'll tell you a story that has remained in my spirit. I went somewhere, I won't mention.
Yes.
This man found the villagers and grabbed a big area.
Yes.
And he started mining.
Yes.
Within a few years, he is in the area where some of my church members own this. Within a few years, he bought an helicopter.
Obviously.
And he bought a plane.
Obviously.
Now, he died in Afghanistan. Rumor has it that he was actually Al-Qaeda. But he came here and got the license. Now, it's such things when you begin to think, so Zambia is just being used?
You know, I think, man of God, one thing I'll say, I think that there was something missing when we were doing the law about licensing and also titles on a parcel of land. Because the way this has been structured, I think there was a lacuna somewhere. So we need to harmonize, and we are the ones in government. It's a proposal that I need to put on the table, that we need to harmonize the fact that if you are a mineral is of course there are issues of surface rights and underground rights. So but if something is found on your land, I think it's important to give respect to the title owner of that parcel of land. That also should be their equity in that mining arrangement. I think it's important that we look at things like, it's about time Zambians begin to own these things.
Absolutely.
And this is what the government of President HH is actually preaching.
I know Reverend Denson Chipasha is calling me. You are calling me on a private mobile, Reverend. Please use that one, the number ending with 273. I know he grew up on the copper belt. He's got a burning issue. This is Reverend Denson Chipasha.
Okay.
I respect your call, man of God. And please give us some more text messages. The minister is here. What is the lifespan of upcoming new mine in Lower Zambezi? Is it worth it if it's less random 10 years? Another question, that was Oscar Mwau. Good evening, Pastor, and good evening, Honorable Minister. My concern is about contractors working underground in Chingola who are getting only 1,200 per month. How can a person survive? Please visit these contractors. Working underground is not easy. It is a sacrifice. This is PC Mwape. The minister has taken note of that. Good evening. Good explanation, Minister, but my concern is the operation at Black Mountain.
I was waiting for
in
this
terms
one.
of safety and the time of operation is not enough. This is Matulanga in Kalulushi. Matulanga. I think
Let me
answer
start with this one.
Yeah.
The way we've structured the Black Mountain, and I know that we are receiving quite a lot of negative feedback from those who were selfishly benefiting from the Black Mountain previously. One thing I'll tell them is that we won't respond to them. We are in a hurry to develop this country. We can't waste time talking about issues that are non-issues. Now, his question is very important. We actually delayed, when we handed over, we also delayed a bit in beginning the operation because we wanted to make sure the whole mountain is actually safe for people to go there so that it doesn't collapse on anyone. I've been given a mandate to say so we shouldn't lose any life there unless it's just a natural occurrence, something that we couldn't control. We have put in place safety measures. What happened today when it was opened, because of the thirst and the drive, the hunger, because that thing has been closed for quite a bit, people just rushed there.
Is that the clip we saw people running? And,
yes, because they were so excited. The good part is that in a short space of time, they cooperated and they came down. But people just picked that picture and threw it all over social media. No, the control was there, and within, I think, an hour, they all came down. I spoke to the people. In fact, yesterday I was there. If you watched, I was on ZNBC trying to also explain, to say safety is number one. If it is not safe, don't let people go there. I have told the operator that, please, I don't want to lose any life here. So they made it safe today. They brought them back. They have discussed with them. The arrangement now would be they will get the material and go and place it somewhere where those pickers, they are called chrome pickers because they pick the chrome which they go to sell. There is actually a lot of economic activity going there. It's a model, Pastor, that we are praying it works well according to plan. It is going to improve people's lives, and it is also going to increase the production figures of copper, because that is a big mineral resource that will add value even
That's
to
a mountain.
Yes, yes. So we have modeled in such a way that there will be a lot of beneficiaries. Already at the DC's office, they are seated over 500 cooperatives waiting to benefit from that. Then those chrome pickers are actually in thousands. It is, and we have, when you watch the clips, you can see that all of them were dressed in protective wear, because that has been emphasized. No one can go there without a hazard. Except the way they managed the crowd today was not according to plan. But we have re-emphasized. Tomorrow they will increase in terms of the police presence, also in terms of the mine safety department. The instruction is every morning before anybody goes on site, there must be a safety talk on how they observe safety, so that we don't lose any lives. And we have instructed clearly nobody should climb on top of the mountain because of that excitement that was there after the opening. So I think everything is under control. I want to assure the nation that we are very mindful of the safety aspect of the Black Mountain. And we are very mindful of the importance of the Black Mountain to the local economy in Uzakile, Nkana, and just Quito in general. So we are very mindful that these lives, I was telling them yesterday, if we lose you, then what is the benefit of opening this resource? Can you imagine? You must get the resource, you go home safe, you sell your chrome, and you benefit from it. And the other thing we have told them, this is a wasting asset. Answering to that question that somebody asked, it's depleting. As you get those the slag, it's depleting day by day. So people must use that as capital now, and also training to come together now. Let's do a small scale mine or an artisanal mine. They must not just get that money like it was in the past, Pastor. People would get money from the Black Mountain, buy big vehicles, start skidding around and disturbing people's lives. We are not going to allow that.
And these are the people we know from here who are called Jerabos.
Exactly. So we don't want that behavior this time around. We want as many people as possible to benefit, but as many people as possible who are there must be protected. Their lives must not be endangered. There was that mistake today. I know, because it's a new model. The way we have modeled it, it's very different from the way it was done in the past. There will be teething issues, and we are working on the teething issues. Before you know it, I think we'll get it right, and everybody will be safe. So that's about the Black Mountain. But contractor, truly, Pam God, the job is so hard. You can't pay somebody 1,200.
Can you imagine?
No. I'm not saying that you increase the money up to 50,000, but be reasonable as you look at the remuneration for your workers. Look at the, and when we say minimum wage as government, we are not saying this is the minimum, so pay this amount of money. We are saying when you are calculating your salaries, at minimum start with this figure, then now calculate a proper salary for your workers. Let's be human as we look at these things.
Because in that, Honorable, umuntu ngashito bunga bubiri.
Yes.
Ashita kona kanamand. What is 1,200? Some of the house workers and the gardeners here, they are getting more than that.
Exactly.
Naumbashu umuntu ale apamaini getting 1,200.
No. I think we need to relook at some of these things. I will engage my colleague at labor and see how they can engage these contractors. I know I also want a happy miner, because a happy miner, Pastor, if I'm talking about productivity in the mine, the most important component is the human resource.
Absolutely.
So the human resource must be happy. If you want to produce properly, the human resource that you use must be motivated. That's why some of us who grew up on a mine, Pastor, the mining sector built schools. This English I'm speaking is the mine.
I'm telling you.
They did nice hospitals for us. They did nice township roads.
And sports facilities.
And sports recreational facilities. Theater clubs, sports clubs, they were there. Some of these things are actually one-off investments which you do in an area. Then you say, government, we have done our part, now you'll be renovating and doing also as we have done our part. So I am a creature of the mining industry, and one of the ways I benefited is the schools. We had a very nice hospital where Pastor Ngokwete Chironda to Arenda to Afeku restaurant, because the food was so nice in these hospitals. So, you know, it's because they respected the social license at the time. So we want to have a happy human resource. Of course, sometimes they could go beyond and just give us a barb for free, which also was destroying us now. We never knew how to pay bills. But what I'm saying is, the mining sector then understood the importance of a happy miner going underground.
In fact, in 1969,
Yes.
I remember visiting my uncle in Elwanshi.
Yes.
I think 2 o'clock on
Yes. Yes, all those. That is to make a miner happy. So the human resource is a critical component of the vision to ramp up production. We are not just looking at the mineral. We are also looking at the agents of bringing out that mineral, and that is the human resource. So it is a critical component. So even as we pay these miners, we must look at that. So I'll be engaging my counterpart at labor and see how we can work around these issues. Then somebody asked about mining in Lower Zambezi. As a ministry, we have not yet made a position, so I won't delve into the details.
That,
I mean, it is a hot issue. So it is something that, as minister, I haven't yet made a statement, so I won't answer it right now.
We are waiting for your phone calls. We have a few minutes before we close this, but I've benefited from the minister's presence here. Good evening, Pastor and Minister Paul KABUSWE. What is your say over the low salary increments being offered across the mining industry and the disparity between expatriate and local manpower?
I think this matter, I have addressed it. I've addressed the issue of low salary. I think I've just been talking about the importance of the human resource. In terms of, we can read that.
Do you have a program for diaspora Zambians with dual citizenship to acquire mining licenses without problems? Your comment? This is Oscar, another question from Oscar.
It is still Zambians, like I've explained. We want more Zambians to participate in the sector, because we want the money in Zambia. That's
and also, Honorable,
yes,
I think the Zambians living in the diaspora, they are doing a little to bring investment in this country.
Yes.
When you think of Nigerians and Ghanaians, wherever they are, they support and mobilize. Go to Nigeria, go to Ghana. And even CNN is only found in those countries and South Africa. As Zambians, we should take Zambia at heart and sell our country.
Correct.
Wherever you are, find investors. It's not up to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you there. We can all come together.
All the Zambians in the diaspora, let's work together. Our ministry is open. We can sit around the table, but make sure the investment comes to Zambia and the money comes to Zambia.
Absolutely.
Mobilize people that you can bring into Zambia, work together. You as a Zambian, you own the license. He brings in with the money, and then we work together and develop our country.
Okay. Mr. Director, please give us some phone calls. There is a message here that the phone is constantly engaged. Good evening, Dad. My question is, my question to Honorable is, what is the minister doing about chiefs giving big chunks of land to to the mining individuals who are mostly foreigners at an expense of locals, you will wonder how a foreigner gets 5,000 hectares and a Zambian local is just subjected to 250. What's your answer to that, Honorable?
I think these are issues that we need to relook at in the new mining policy, where, you know, people get huge chunks of land and disadvantage other Zambians. And you remember I had talked about the fact that we cannot have somebody just holding on to a parcel of land doing nothing. If you are doing nothing, we get it and give it to somebody who will be doing something on it. Yeah.
My director, people are just now turning my phone into a switchboard. Please do something. Let's get some calls. Good evening, Pastor and Honorable Minister. What is the government policy on oil mining, in particular reserves in Northwestern province? This is very critical, Honorable. May I take in another question so that the Honorable can answer? What is government doing on the closed Chambeshi metals, which has been under care and maintenance for some years? This is from Konda in Chingola.
Chambeshi metals is very active on our desk, Pastor. There are discussion going around with the owners, and there are some people interested. We cannot make a concrete announcement now, but one thing I can assure Zambians that it's an issue that is very, very active, because we are talking about value addition, we are talking about processing, and Chambeshi metals comes in handy on that score. So we are working round the clock around the issues of Chambeshi metals. I'm not going to make any announcement yet, but I'll tell you that it's something that is very, very active. On the oil mining, we are actually just about finalizing the committee of ministers on oil and gas. There's a committee of ministers that look at that.
We have some gas reserves here?
Yeah, we are trying to explore for gas and oil. So that committee of ministers, which is appointed by His Excellency the President, and also who appoint a technical team, the issue of mining license also, it is also looking at those that are holding on to oil and gas exploration licenses. All that will come to the fore, and we will relook at them and give to people who are serious to go in that direction. Yeah.
You see, Honorable Minister, I'm so grateful that you came on this program, because I'll never stop talking about this. When we had a program with Honorable Doris Leah, one of the things that I said is that the government, you are not good at disseminating information.
Yes.
People don't know.
Yes.
You are good at campaigning, but to tell the people why I should go this way, you are not good.
Yes.
You just say, come this way, but you are not telling us how. I'm sure the people that are listening to this program, the Zambians, have benefited, and there will be less headaches on the copper belt and in the mining sector in particular. Information is power.
Indeed, indeed. No, thank you very much also for bringing me on the program. I intend to do on other platforms more programs so that our people can be enlightened on what we are doing, on what we plan to do. And I want to assure you, and through you, our Zambian viewers and Zambian citizens, that we are not a government of rhetoric. We are a practical government.
Absolutely.
Whatever we are talking about is what we are doing. When we said we are bringing sanity to the mining sector, we did exactly that. We have suspended licensing. It is another source of the confusion that is in the sector. That is about bringing sanity. We said it and we are doing it. We are going to have organized mining. We said we will craft a new policy. We are doing it. Very soon we'll be launching that policy. So we know we are taking practical steps on where we are. We know where we are going and where we want to take this country. I want to be part of a group of Zambians that will remove the shame that has been lying on Zambians having had a lot of resources, yet its citizens are looking poor. This is the vision of His Excellency the President to remove Zambians out of poverty, to get them off of the poverty. It is something that we always talk about in cabinet. We talk about around it with the President, that we need to get people out of poverty. We need to give our youths jobs. Today, he was asked a question about what makes him not to sleep. And his answer was, jobs, jobs, jobs for our youths. And that is an issue that is very, very active, which also, as his ministers, are giving us sleepless nights.
But tell the President to relax. He has forgotten about his campaign promises, because yes, he did promise the youth.
Yes.
But you remember when I interviewed him here on this platform, National Matters.
Yes.
I said to him when he was in the opposition,
yes,
Mr. President, when you come,
yes,
can you employ all the youths?
Yes.
And he said, Pastor Chiluba, anybody that would say they will employ youth, they are liars. The government cannot employ everyone.
Yes.
But I'm simply saying, as a government, I know you are in a hurry to develop,
yes,
but don't also run because of pressure.
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Every one of us, we want to benefit from you.
Indeed.
But you don't have to, because we are putting pressure and you start working like horses. No, no, no. You may break again and the economy breaks.
That is true. You know, when I just took over office, I almost broke because I was working like a horse. So at some point, my BP, you know, started just rising. I said, oh, I need to take a break. But you know what? I share the passion that you have for Zambia. I am a firm believer in Zambia. I have a lot of friends who have gone out there and live there. I have said I'm too Zambian in my heart.
Absolutely.
To go out there and live. I can't. I just can't live anywhere. And I have told people that if God, I died today and God said, I want you to go back to the earth, which country would you choose? I'll still choose Zambia.
Zambia?
Yes.
And back to Chilabombo?
Back to Chilabombo, yes. Because I love this country too much. And I will actually choose to serve in the current administration if I was given another chance, because I've seen the vision. I've seen where this country is going. I'm a Christian man of God. I'm speaking this from my heart. I'm very passionate about Zambia. We have the best chance now with the current administration. We are not perfect human beings. We may make mistakes here and there. But the bigger picture is deliver to the people of Zambia, the youth, the women, the men, the church, and everybody else, so that everyone can enjoy having been a Zambian.
One of the things, Honorable, I like the way you have come out. One of the things you should also identify is to have an endeavor for people with a vision.
Indeed.
I may not be in cabinet.
Indeed.
But trust me, if you came and said, Pastor Chiluba, as a government, let's come together with people from Mongu, a national endeavor.
Yes.
Will give you something that will make your government smart.
Indeed.
I'm telling you.
Indeed. Well, that is the president's call. His minister, I will relay the message. That is if he's not watching. Yes.
I'm so grateful to those of you that expected to phone on this program. And I don't know what has happened. We only had one call. I don't know. I am not part of these technological challenges. I don't know what has happened. And to the hundreds of text messages, Honorable, because I know they are in hundreds.
Yes.
What I'll do is my wife and I will go through.
Okay.
And I'll forward you some of the sensitive. Okay. Because some they don't display them there by the director because of their nature of sensitivity.
Okay.
But we'll give them to you so that you can deal with them as minister.
No problem.
It's in the interest of our nation.
No problem.
And to those who didn't come through, my apologies. I will ask the minister to just say his last words as we are in news time, and may God bless this great nation of Zambia. Minister, look into that camera and say your last words to the nation.
The one thing I'll tell Zambians is that be rest assured that this country is headed in the right direction. that as your minister serving under His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, our commitment to make Zambia benefit from its mineral wealth is above 100%. We are serious, we are committed, we are not just doing rhetoric, we are practical. We know which step to take when, and we know where we are taking the ministry. We are also available for more ideas, those that would want to come and engage us on various aspects. We are operating an open door policy. You are welcome to come to the ministry. Trust us, trust your president, trust where he is driving this country. The naysayers are saying we don't have a plan. We do have a plan, and the plan is to liberate this country from its economic challenges and make our people benefit from the resource that God has endowed with. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you very much for those that are criticizing us. We are ready for positive criticism. It will help us to grow and be the leaders that you Zambians would want us to be. Thank you very much for inviting me on your program. I hope that I've been of help to our people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, some of the questions you haven't answered, and those who failed to call you, you come back so that probably you can answer.
No problem.
I'm so grateful, Honorable Minister. Wish you God's blessings,
Thank
you
you.
and your family, the President, and this cabinet.
Thank you.
My prayer is that Zambia should succeed.
Indeed.
We are too blessed to fail.
Indeed.
And may God bless this nation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome, viewers. I had my minister, Honorable Paul KABUSWE, Minister of Mines. This is how far we can go. What I haven't asked him or what you are looking for hasn't come out, please write me a letter, write me a message, and I'll post it to him. He will answer you. On behalf of my wife, the CEO of this great station, on behalf of the technical people in this station, the journalists, the leadership of the Healing Word Ministries International, and above all, you, dear CAMNET viewers, you are just a blessing. Keep watching CAMNET TV, because CAMNET TV is not just another channel. Bye-bye.